Greetings, Jedi Traders. David here of TradingFibs.com to bring you the weekly technical momentum outlook for week 14, 2017. It is quarter 2. As always, please seek financial advisement when trading with your money, as these videos are for educational purposes only. To support your knowledge in the market, see what was going through my head on any given week. Always make sure you have a solid trading plan, and always manage your stop when placing a trade. All right, Q1 in the books. Week 13, end of Q1 contract, 3 months into 2017. Go ahead and check out the Week 13 recap found right here at TradingFibs.com. Market indices regaining their footing on a failed gap down Sunday to start out last week, which put the indices back upside and what continues to be an ongoing uptrend, holding above each indices 50, 144 EMA and key moving averages, the 50 and the daily 200 on higher time frames. The ES and NQ back above their prospective 10-day moving averages, but the struggling YM here right at the daily 10, 50 and MML major support and resistance right there. The ES, which worked its way up from the MML, lows to highs throughout the week, holding from and above the weekly VWAP on an hourly chart, only to find consolidation on the latter part of the week of week 13 on low volume. Brings pause to the end of the week rally. VIX levels continue to remain low, swinging between 11 and 13. Rumors of the healthcare vote back in play and upcoming tax reform infrastructure spending, which has yet to be seen. Unless something significant comes out of these economic headliners, price action may struggle at these levels until confirmation of reform has taken place. Remain steadfast at these levels, Jedi Traders, as a plethora of naysayers and permabears continue to plague the social media with doomsday and apocalyptic events for the market to plummet, which we know at some point, simply based on the daily gaps here, will happen as they remain open. All right, so let's jump into the charts and see where we are currently on the momentum and give some levels, both upside and downside. Be prepared for the week. All right, so daily gaps, one of the key charts that I watch each week. NQ hitting those all-time highs. We got a nice move. Still back upside, still plenty of room here for both the YM and the ES to move back upside. However, we are facing some resistance here on the MML charts. But NQ, 2 all-time highs last week, 2 new all-time highs. But keep in mind, as price action finished upside above the week after the gap down Sunday, as we mentioned, we still got plenty of room downside on each perspective indice, all the way down on the ES here. 1860.75. Now, I'm not saying that's coming next week, but open gaps as we continue to close them each and every week, doing a fine job at that. Market action will eventually come back downside, so keep that in mind as the market continues to move up. All right, let's jump right into the charts. Daily pick, see where we are starting on the NQ. Let's roll out with the weekly picture here as the NQ continues to make its move upside here from MML low back in June of 2016. Took a pause here at the major support resistance, also major pivot as it works its way up here to resistance upside at 56.25. So on the bigger picture, keep in mind 56.25 even up to 59.37 in quotes overbought territory. All right, let's jump into the daily, 4-hour, and the core setup that we watch each day. Here we are, the NQ sitting above. Let's appreciate the NQ first, sitting above both the 10-day and the 50-period moving average as it regained its footing here off the resistance and back upside. So trend remains both upside on a daily. Anything pullback will be looking to not only the break of the 10 on the daily, but also we'll look for support downside on the 50 MA down here around 53.32. Any break of this substantial break in the market will soon be looking down to major support resistance back down at 5K, which will definitely close out some open gaps down below, including support off the 200. Looking upside, we'll be looking up here up to 55.47, both on the range chart and up here around 55.07. Before we get there, we'll watch the 4-hour resistance up here at 54.68. Now, before we drop down here all the way to 5,000 on the NQ, we'd want to watch the 4-hour chart make its stop here, 53.90 down to 53.12 first before we sink any lower. Keep that in mind that the downside on the support on the NQ here at 53.12 matches up with the major support resistance on the NQ downside here on the range chart, equaling support here at the 51.44. Keep in mind 534 EMA on a higher time frame and the 51.44 EMA are both an uptrend. So at this point, market indices here on the NQ still remains in a qualified and substantial uptrend. Now, as we roll through the week, keep in mind that as I do each day, I will pull up both a 60-minute, 4-hour chart and 15-minute to indicate where is the current trend on the smaller time frames, both resistance and support down below. All right, let's roll into the YM. Take a look at the bigger picture as we close out the quarter here on the weekly. Little concerning here as the MMLs on the bigger picture weekly hitting the reversal up here at 938 pulls back. This is your weekly picture from MML low. Again, retest, push back upside. Nice momentum drive since November, as we see here on the weekly. Nice finish to the quarter. However, on the bigger picture here, as we look at not only the daily, the 4-hour, and the range chart, we showed you that 50 and that 10 here. Look at that little bit of fighting back and forth here. Major support resistance is the 50% pullback on a daily. As we hold here at the 50, we need to break that 10-period moving average to regain that trend upside. We'll then look back up to the highs up here, 938 to 094. Any pullback at this point, break the 50, and we'll be looking down here to 313 down to 156. All right, that's your daily pick. So we need to pull back a little bit as we can appreciate on the bigger picture. We're still in an uptrend above the 534, 51.44 still in the green. As you can see, a range chart, much bigger picture here, holding above in an uptrend. But at the MMLs, we are at a 50% pullback, major support resistance within this small time frame here. So either way is a go. Flip of a coin. We'll be looking first here upside. So that's the bigger picture, 938 upside, 313. But we got to go to the smaller numbers, 781 down to 469. So we will drop down, obviously, midweek. We'll be looking at the 16-minute, 60-minute, 15-minute, and the smaller 4-hour time frame chart with a smaller time frame on the MML. So there are your current momentum for the YM. Currently still in an uptrend after a pullback, find support upside, but a little bit of caution here. Be prepared for both directions. Taking a look at the ES, weekly ES, there it is. Price action holds upside as we just saw on the weekly VWAP as well. Let's jump over to the 60-minute. Nice picture. Again, a nice weekly VWAP on all three of your charts, indices, or for whatever matters market you're watching, holding to the upside. ES, nice consolidation towards the end of the week. Take a look at the bigger picture. Again, ES on the weekly holding upside, resistance up here, a little concerning. Would like to see the breakthrough. Otherwise, we see the pullback here as ES. Let's take a look at both the daily, the 4-hour, and the range charts. Again, pullback off the reversal, MML, range chart, 534 in sync. Great picture to indicate showing that we are still currently in an uptrend holding above the 51.44 exponential moving average cloud. So what do we look up to upside? 2375 is a key number up here. Bigger picture, 2375 right here. Daily, 2375 on the 4-hour. So I would go ahead and mark that on my chart. Up to 2390, key level up here. If we break upside on the 4-hour chart, once we break above 2375, 2390. We'll be looking back up here to regain some highs back from, there it is, 2401. We start reaching this territory. We'll start looking up here to 2406 up to 2421. Key thing in mind, watching the 50 holding above versus the other YM, which is struggling here at major support resistance, regaining some footing here above the 10-period moving average, at least for the next week right now, gives me a solid trend that's back upside. Again, looking to retest some of these levels. Any of these levels are a go. Watch the downtrend. Any failure at the 50 starts to watch the open gaps to the downside. First one, 23.1575. 23.1575 will put us in the vicinity of the major support resistance. So that is very possible on any pullback this week. Anything downside from there, watch 22.50 down to the 200-period moving average. See where your lines level up. 23.1250 major support resistance will also be right there on the 4-hour chart support, as well as the ES downside here at major support resistance. All right, so keep those levels in mind. All right, jumping in, just a quick peek here at the gold. Appreciate the gold here. Price action again, bouncing off on the daily here. 50 and the 200, kind of a little bit of a battle here. Off resistance is the highs, MML highs, off the lows, of course, off the daily back here in December. Resistance fighting up here, resistance fighting up here, both on the 4-hour chart, two different time frames. We can appreciate the bounce off the low. What's concerning me here on the gold is the weekly VWAP continues to battle here off the 60 minutes. So we need a breakthrough of the weekly VWAP to gain some traction upside to at least 1250, if not back upside to 1257, which will find then support here up to 200. If we can hold here, we'll look for back downside 1242, and then eventually down to 1218. Anything lower off the 50 period moving average, we'll be looking for a drop back down to around major support resistance. Taking a look and wrapping up here on the crude, taking a look at the daily, 4-hour, and the 60-minute chart. Nice trend upside for the week on the crude, holding upside above the weekly VWAP. Throw that on a 60-minute chart. Again, 4-hour at the highs. We're looking for a little bit of resistance up here on the 50 MA if we can hold above the 200. Breakthrough on the 50 MA. We're looking for a drive up at least here to 53.13. Appreciate the daily gap on the crude as we continue to move upside. No major gaps here. Actually, a couple downside. I didn't get a chance to draw those in, so they'll be around somewhere here around 47.85 and around 49.65 as we drive up here to our next open gap upside at 55.41. Again, OPEC oil politics playing into the crude market. All right, so keep in mind, watch the 50 MA, and again, watch the intraday 15-minute, 60-minute, and the smaller time frame on the 4-hour chart. But there's your bigger picture on the crude. All right, that wraps it up on the charts. Let's take a look here at the economic outlook for the week. Key events in the market include FOMC minutes on Wednesday as the market continues to ponder the amount of rate hikes to come in 2017, and Friday's non-farm payroll numbers. Federal Reserve speakers littered through the week, which surely can move the market on any given day. Core economic earnings for Q1 start to roll out for the next 6 weeks, starting with the heavies in mid-month. Surely an indicator if the numbers are that great, which can also be smoke and mirrors at times. Don't forget Washington politics and worldly imbalance to set the market in motion, which by any other given year may not be as newsworthy, but continue to play a bigger role in 2017 as we have seen Q4 of 2016. And last, April showers, which by history tend to bring a bullish sentiment to the markets, has yet to be seen. Keep in mind that past performance never indicative of future price action. So, bottom line for week 14, watch price action around the daily 1050 MA on the ES and YM. If unable to hold, price action may seek support around 50% pullback, the MML major support resistance lines. Watch those major support resistance lines. Again, look to regain those all-time highs as the NQ sitting up here right up at all-time highs here, 54.52. With positive earning numbers mid-month, we'll plow higher. And until then, watch those 10-period daily moving averages for downside trend break and 50 MA for support. So, technical momentum probability remaining in an uptrend on the bigger picture. Signs of market weakness start to show. We know in week 11 and week 12 with a pushback upside in week 13. Observe those intradays on the 60, 15-minute charts for any alert of change in trend or continued movement upside. Take a look at the charts as I do each day, especially here. ES 4-hour, all three posted in the early morning sessions, both the 15-minute from the Globex and seeing where we are based on the overnight price action. There's your picture as we continue to hold up on the ES upside. Lower levels, 15-minute, will then look for the bounce back upside until we have a reset on the lower time frame. So keep those weekly VWAPs on the 16-minute charts to monitor the trend change. I will continue to notify you guys through social media and my daily outlook posted 15 minutes prior to the U.S. Open of any updates throughout the week. Hey guys, for those indices, ETF, and long-term holders, different rules apply as quarterly rebalancing is now here and my preference for managing such markets. All right, that is a wrap for this week's daily and weekly technical momentum of the indices and key futures markets. Please feel free to stop by at either tradingfibs.com here on my website or any of my social media outlets to obtain more information. My trading mantra: one simple strategy, any market, any chart, any time frame will keep you disciplined. You can find me every day on Twitter at Trading Fibs or here on StockTwits. And as always, I leave the crystal ball to the experts. I only watch what's in front of me and on my charts. And as always, leave your buys at the door when trading. Hey guys, I want to give a shout out as my three main steadfast influences when it comes to macro and micro view include the Shadow Trader video, not only weekly, great understanding of market profile. Love taking his daily analysis of the ES, plotting them on my own chart to understand. Sometimes it takes to get that information out there and to rehash it. And each morning I take his post and accolades to his understanding of market profile and what to see each day. Again, when you tie that in with AD line, market internals, whatever other lines, fractal lines you're watching the market, can make for a solid trading plan and strategy. So, both Shadow Trader, also giving a shout out to jasonkelly.com for the 3% signal. Check out his weekly newsletter, a great macro view, and his YouTube channel, as well as a shout out to Mr. Topstep here. Check out his webinar here over the weekend, Trump 2017. Where do we go from here? Obviously, the rally in the market and his 2 cents and his years of qualified and unrelentless time in the market. All right. For those of you who are interested in joining us, our community of like-minded traders seeking those highest probability setups, feel free to email me, david@tradingfibs.com. You may join us any Thursday or Friday to view the live chart setups as they happen in the trading day. And one more shout out, I forgot. Kenneth Polcari, each morning. Wonderful newsletter from the previous day, including a spectacular recipe for you to cook that night or sometime over the weekend. All right, that's a wrap. I'll see you guys online. If you got any questions, feel free, again, to email me, david@tradingfibs. Those are the numbers for the week. So far, I've been doing pretty good. If you go back over the bottom line, as we do each week, we're doing exactly, holding in exactly where we think we're going. So, no crystal ball, but at least by the momentum in the trend in the market, makes for some good pockets of ticks each day. All right, have yourselves a Blue Zone week, wherever you may be. Have a good day, have a good night, and a good week, and good trading to you.